Maestro Stu saves the zoo. Since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, Stu had been visiting the nearby zoo. He visited so often, everyone at the zoo knew him by name, even the animals. At night, when the zoo was closed, the animals made music. Living only a block away, Stu and Mama could hear them. Mama called their sounds a symphony. Some nights the tone was soft and low. Other nights upbeat and jazzy. She said it was music to her ears and swayed to the beat while Stu played Maestro. When Stu was tucked into bed, snug as a bug, in a rug, he would fall asleep to the animal sounds and dream of the place he loved best. But time passed, and Stu discovered that not everyone loved animals as much as he and Mama did. Mr. Cooper wanted to tear the zoo down so he could build a mall, and he had no use for the animals. They would have to go. But first he would have to convince the city to sell him the zoo. Mr. Cooper went to every city meeting. He rubbed elbows with the fat cats in their ivory tower every chance he got. He padded their pockets, bought them extravagant gifts, and sent them on expensive trips. Before long, city officials were willing to sell him the zoo. A press conference was called to announce the sale of the zoo, and reporters came from everywhere to get the news firsthand. A mall, Mr. Cooper explained, will make the city better. When a reporter asked him about the animals, he brushed them off. They're not my concern, they're just animals. From their cages, the animals watched and listened in disbelief. Doom and gloom settled over the zoo like a thick blanket of fog as the animals realized they were going to lose their home. Lion took the bull by the horns. He sent out a memo to every creature in the zoo announcing an emergency meeting. Attend a high-priority meeting. No monkey business. Midnight on the dot. Lion's Lane, 1/4 mile due south as the crow flies. Mum's the word. Late that night, while the security guard was taking a cat nap, the animals gathered to discuss the news. They were in an uproar. Polar Bear was coming apart at the seams. "Pull yourself together," Rhino said. "Lion took control. Calm down, everyone." The sloths yawned. "Aren't we making a mountain out of a molehill?" "Get your head out of the clouds," Tiger said. "They're selling our home. That man is going to get rid of us." Emu cried, "We're goners." Giraffe went weak at the knees. Ram tried to get a grip on himself. And Gazelle, who always wore her heart on her sleeve, sobbed, "We have to do something." Stu couldn't keep quiet any longer and stepped out of the shadows. "Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle," Ape said, when he laid eyes on the boy. "Stu, what are you doing here at this hour?" Elephant asked. Stu held up the memo. "I found this. I came to help." "Can you save our home?" they asked him. "No, but you can," he said. "What can we do?" Wild Beast said. "We're just animals." "Yeah, our hands are tied," said the penguins, shaking their heads. "I have an idea," Stu said. "I know what you can do." They listened intently as Stu shared what he had heard from them over the years and how Mama called it a symphony. Maybe their musical talents could help save the zoo. A concert was planned and the details were worked out. The animals left the meeting dog-tired but bound and determined to save their home. In the wee hours of the morning, the animals prepared for their debut. Peacocks fluffed their flowers, elephants took a bath, and tuxedo-clad penguins paced. With butterflies in their stomachs, the animals took their places. The gates opened at precisely 10 a.m. With baton in hand, Stu conducted the elephants to raise their trunks and play the first note. Slowly but surely, while cues from Stu, the other animals joined in. Squeaks and bellows, gurgles and chirps, clucks and pitters, grunts and twitters, croaks, snorts and calls, quacks, squawks, brays and whistles, barks and bleats, coos, hoots, wails and whinies, squeals, hisses, and howls, mews and growls, all came together in a symphony of sounds. The music filled the zoo and wafted into the heart of the city. Everywhere, people stopped and listened. Reporters and camera crews scurried to capture the phenomenon. By the time the animals played the final note, you could have heard a pin drop, until a single clap by a young maestro, followed by another and another, became thunderous applause. That night, the animals were on every news channel, and their concert was replayed over and over to the delight of all but one. Tickets to the zoo started selling like hotcakes as people came from all around to hear the animal symphony. Day after day, the animals proudly showed off their musical talents for the visitors, and the zoo made national news. The zoo was getting so much attention that city officials had a change of heart. A press conference was called to announce their decision not to sell it after all. The animals were thrilled that they had saved their home. In honor of Stu, they threw a party. Mr. Cooper was as mad as a wet hen and threw a fit. But what goes around comes around, and Mr. Cooper now has the job he deserves. He is the official pooper scooper at where else? The zoo. All's well that ends well.